First. Hello, Mr. Dutton. Here's my senior project. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And my project is Don't Mistake Your Meat for Fresh, the Effects of Essential Oil on Bacteria Growth. So first off, I'd like to acknowledge all the people that this project could not have happened without. So first off, I'd like to thank Dr. Lund for helping me decide what materials I needed to buy, as well as guiding me in my methods of my paper. Really, how I came up with this idea. One day I was watching Doomsday Preppers, as you can see here, and I was wondering how on earth do they eat without refrigerators? Because I use refrigerators in my everyday life just to, keep a Jimmy Dean sausage biscuit in the fridge, and I know it'll be ready for me the next day. So, I did a little research on how people preserve food in situations where refrigeration is not possible. Alright, so why do we need to preserve meat? I did research into this, and basically the reason why people preserve meat is so that it will not grow bacteria in the time that you kill the animal until you actually plan on eating the meat. Because meat, of course, since it used to be a living thing, bacteria are going to want to eat it and consume the proteins and all the goodness up in there. So it's going to grow bacteria colonies in the time that from the time that you kill the animal until you actually plan on eating it. So in order to prevent this from happening, we preserve it, and some forms of preservation that are used in the absence of refrigeration are pickling, which uses acid to ferment meat, drying, which simply dehydrates meat and it creates an environment unstable for bacteria growth, and also salting, which is just simply placing a ridiculous amount of salt on meat in order to prevent bacteria from growing. Alright, so nowadays, some forms of preservation that have come about, for example, is placing the chemical sodium nitrate on meat. And sodium nitrate is used to preserve color and increase, the time meat can last until it can be, how am I trying to say this? I'm just gonna keep going. Well, anyway, sodium nitrate is used all the time. It is still legal in the US, although it leads directly to colon and rectal cancer in people when consumed in large amounts. So that's a bad thing. So I was wondering, there must be a healthier alternative to sodium nitrate and also to these other forms of preservation which just make your meat kind of gross. Alright, so I did some research and I found that essential oils can actually have been suggested to be possible meat preservatives. What essential oils are natural aromatic compounds found in the seeds, bark, stem, roots, flowers, and other parts of plants. And they are used in the plant to prevent bacterial diseases, as well as animals eating the plants, because they often have a bitter or very strong aroma and flavor. Also, they are non-water based, and they are made up of, like I said, volatile aromatic compounds. Also, it has been suggested that there are antioxidants found in essential oils. And basically what antioxidants are is they're a type of vitamin, and they're known for their anti-aging skin benefits. I'm sure everyone has heard of, antioxidants. They're good for you. They prevent diseases and everything. But there hasn't been a lot of research done to the antioxidant levels in essential oils. But basically it's assumed that because of the antioxidants in essential oils that they could be used to preserve meat. Okay, here's a quick little diagram of how they're made. Basically, they put all the plant material that they're going to extract from here, and they shoot steam through it, and then the steam goes down a cooled coil, and it condenses over here, and then the essential oil is scraped off the top. Pretty simple process. So, hold on, what happened to the computer? Oh, it almost died. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it was shown that Lipia alba, which is this plant right here, was shown to have preserving properties on catfish fillets when aided with refrigeration. So I want to see if this can be true for other essential oils, but without the the absence of refrigeration. So, could they be used as a healthier preservative as compared to sodium nitrate in preserving meat, as well as without refrigeration? Alright, so my variables. I use vegetable oil as a control, cinnamon, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus, and clove essential oils. And my dependent variable will be bacteria growth of an agar plate. So here is a plate that I made, and using a plate more so because placing it on meat would be hard to control variables, so I used agar plates instead. Alright, here's my hypothesis. And basically, I modeled the order of these oils, and what I would expect would be the level of bacteria growth off of the catfish experiment from before. I was expecting in my null hypothesis for all of the oils to have the same bacteria growth, no effect. And for my alternate hypothesis, I suspected that supernatant, which was no essential oil, would have a greater bacteria growth than vegetable, and vegetable as a control is just an oil. And then cinnamon leaf, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus, and finally I believe that clove would have the greatest antibacterial effects. So I believe that because of the essential oils antioxidant levels, that they could be used to deter bacteria growth. Alright, so my method's very complicated. A lot of work went into this. Basically, I made my own agar, and then I poured all my plates, let those cool, and then I created an inoculum, which is basically chopped up meat with water, and this is my bacteria source. So I diluted the inoculum, that's the meat that went in. I diluted that to create a supernatant, which is a controlled amount of bacteria mixed with water. And then I would mix this all up, and I would add that on top of a plate. So my bacteria are in there, and I made sure that the bacteria came from nowhere other than this meat. And then on top of that, I would put my essential oil. Alright, here's my graph of my results. The reason these are all shortened forms is because it just saves space. Soup is supernatant, vegetable oil, cinnamon leaf, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus, clove. And also the reason I put them in this order was once again because it's modeled off the catfish study, so I expected to see growth looking like this. That I expected supernatant would be very high because it's just straight bacteria, and then all the oils would help deter bacteria growth. However, that is not what happened. My oil type here, my DV here, this is bacteria growth in percent coverage. So, I found that the supernatant, which is a control, was right here. And very surprising, I actually had two oils. Instead of deterring bacteria growth, they actually encouraged it, which were the lemon and the vegetable oil. So that was very surprising to me. Then I had all of these oils down here, all the rest of them. They did deter growth when I looked at it with my eyes, but statistically, it wasn't the same. My p-value, however, when I did a one-way ANOVA, was 3.21 times 10 to the negative 25th, so I found significance between oils. But later on, I had to do a Bonferroni multiple comparisons test to find if there was any hidden information there. And I found that statistically with my Bonferroni multiple comparisons test that lemon was significantly different from vegetable oil, and vegetable oil was significantly different than supernatant and all other oil additives. But I also found that supernatant, which is no oil at all, was statistically the same as every single other oil here. So, that shows me that I've failed to reject my null hypothesis, and that essential oils not only don't deter bacteria growth, but they actually encourage it in the cases of lemon. So, what else can be done after I've found the surprising results that I found? Not enough research has been done, of course, to the antioxidant levels of essential oils. So, it could be shown that antioxidants actually have nothing to do with bacteria growth at all. It could be of just just chance. So I recommend that in a new test, I would increase the number of essential oils tested, differentiate them into categories of antioxidant concentration, and I would also do the same test again, and and find data that was previously unavailable with a bacteria growth scan instead of the method that I used to collect my dependent variable. So, in the end, if you are without refrigeration, do not, and I repeat, do not use essential oils as a meat preservative, because they could actually increase the rate of spoilage of that piece of meat. Thank you. How do I stop it? Make it stop!